I call to order this Berners Township Committee meeting for August 10th, 2021. Please rise for the flag salute. Adequate notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, 1 Carler Lane, Basking Ridge, on the township website and emailed to the Burnersville News, Whippany, the Courier News, Bridgewater, tapinto.net, and filed with the township clerk on December 8th, 2020. Any motion to go into closed session will be included that the matters discussed at such closed session will be discussed to the public when such matters are finally determined, and there is no further reason to prohibit the public disclosure of information relating to such matters. No new business will be introduced after 10:30 p.m. Public comment will be accepted at all meetings. Speakers will be limited to 5 minutes each. All meetings will adjourn no later than 11:30 p.m. Roll call, Rhonda.
Mr. Baldessari?
Here.
Ms. Bannon?
Here.
Ms. Grahala is excused, she's on vacation. Mr. McNally?
Here.
Mayor Fields?
Here.
Thank you.
Executive session, none. Public work session, Rhonda.
None this evening.
Reports,
None this evening.
correspondence.
And none this evening.
Next is public comment. Comments are welcome during the public comment period during this meeting on any agenda item or other matter over which the Township Committee has jurisdiction. However, if any ordinance is listed for its own public hearing on the agenda, please hold your comments for that particular public hearing. To address this body, the speaker must come forward to the microphone and state his or her name and address for the record. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. The clerk will keep the time. Please promptly yield to the floor when time is called and return to your seat. Your cooperation and adherence to these rules of order will ensure an orderly and respectful meeting. Open for public comment.
Tyler Stein, Riverside Drive.
Hi, Todd.
On the consent agenda, can we pull 2021 0298 and 0301?
Can you say the first one again? I'm sorry.
That's 0298.
298. Number 10?
I guess I didn't write that number down. And 0301. Just want to mention that through reading the paper, I noticed that a lot of these towns around us still are on video for their meetings. And I think it's really a good thing that we have public meetings, and it's really a credit to the committee to have a public meeting instead of having it on computer. Also, I just want to, since August, and then we had a National Night Out, I figured I'd just pass on a little crime prevention tip. Most people have cell phones, including me. I pre-program number 9 for 911. People are walking around, not paying attention, but and they always have their phones in their hand, but if something comes up, they're either, nervous or they don't know the number or something. But then number 9 is always in the same spot in all the phones. And when you're nervous, you're going to grab onto something, grab onto that 9, speed dial to 911 if you program it that way. And it just makes it easier and faster to, get a hold of somebody if you need help. And I know that's how I have my phone programmed. Thank you very much.
Could you address why you want it pulled?
Those two?
Yeah, because,
Okay, that's not a problem.
or if you have an issue.
0298. There was a mistake on the street, I believe. I don't think it's Juniper Avenue. I think it's Juniper Way. Because I looked it up on Google Maps, and there is no avenue.
I think
it
it's
says
Juniper Way.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I don't know if it's a major thing. Yeah, I'm sure it's not a big deal, but I thought we'd catch it now.
They don't have to pull a Todd, they could just,
just
the
do it.
record will note it's Juniper Way, I think we
Okay.
all know where that is. Thank you for that.
Not a
Thank
problem.
you.
Another one is the traffic study for Madisonville Road for $6,500. If people are speeding, have patrol cars go there, have them sit there and write tickets. I know the philosophy of the police department basically is, they'd rather teach than penalize. That's all well and good, but it's sooner or later, you have to smack somebody's hand and say, you're getting a ticket. The police department could do their own speed study by sitting there and just shooting radar, just like most departments where they want to check to see if they want to lower the speed or increase the speed of a street. They can do that there and just see how many cars or when they're speeding. I'm sure they're speeding through in the mornings and in the evenings when, people are trying to get home. And it's just a matter, I can save you $6,500, and I'll sit there with a radar gun and shoot it and write the tickets if people are afraid to do it. It's not that thing, because traffic studies are going to say, we're going to put a speed bump in? No. Are we going to close down the street, narrow the street down? Doesn't really stop people from speeding. I mean, Finley Avenue over there by Henry, they close that, they narrow that down. People still speed through if they want to speed through. So I think it's really an enforcement issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Jennifer AC, 71 Butternut Lane. I wanted to commend Mayor Fields, and I want to fully recognize the efforts, the brilliance that you had about creating the Mayor Series. There was one just last night. And I just want to say, as the proud mother of a multiracial family, I find the programs, especially the cultural ones, you have them split between cultural and informational, I find them very valuable, beginning with the Chinese community and last night the Brit community. I'm saying this because I'm hoping to sort of go on record and encourage other residents to come, because I think the programs are very valuable. If I switch to the informational sessions, my fire detector last week went on the blink, and I was able to use the information that the fire official shared about buying one with a lithium battery. So to actually implement some things, I'll just say every time I go, there are pearls. And so I'm hoping that we can encourage all the residents, excuse me, in fact, last night, there were even folks beyond Basking Ridge that were in attendance. So I want to share my gratitude, and I hope to encourage others to attend these programs, including, I brought my daughter, she enjoys it. Last night, she loved the mango drink, and she loved the dancers. So I just want to share that it makes me very proud to live in this community. It helps to show, especially for the cultural programs, how diverse our community is, and it highlights the rich mosaic that we have and demonstrating that inclusivity. So I want to thank you, and I encourage others to attend. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for attending and supporting. Anyone else?
Jane Conklin, 110
I'm sorry,
Spencer.
can you put the mic a little?
Yeah, Jane Conklin, 110 Spencer Road.
Thank you.
I believe we're going to speak later. I'm part of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, so I believe we're going to talk later when we're having our discussion about that. But just the two comments that came up now, I just wanted to make a comment about those. I do think that the Madisonville Road traffic survey would be valuable. I used to live there, And I can't tell you how many times I would hear the squealing wheels going between that and 202, and how many accidents happened on that section. So it's not just about speed, it's also about that turn and kind of how that all ends up happening and how many near accidents or accidents happen right around there. So I do think that is a valuable thing. And for the Meet the Mayor series, I know that we discussed it at our last Diversity and Inclusion Committee. She just made me think about the idea that it would be great if our committee could be part of that series as well. It would be great to have the town be able to meet us through the Meet the Mayor series. So that's something that we had discussed at our last meeting. I just wanted to bring that up and invite you to do that with us. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I would like to address that because I have discussed that with your committee, and I have encouraged you to do your own forum and your own get-together with the community. So I'm going to see if I can do it with you, but I do encourage your committee to do it on your own. You have the forum and you have the capability of being able to do it, and I will do everything that I can to help you get that off the ground and be able to give that to the community and stand on your own, because it would spotlight you and your organization, I mean, your committee. So I want to address that. So if you would like, Chairman is here tonight, John Quayu, if you would like to put together a program through the Diversity Committee, I will support you and help you in any way I can and have you spotlight that, your committee. Anyone else?
Hello, everyone. Nancy D'Andrea, 3 Vanderveer Drive. I just want to start off by saying I'm very happy to be here. In the last, for 15 months, I dealt with 3 cancer scares and 2 major surgeries. So just last week at National Night Out, as Jim knows, I got my last scans and everything was clear.
We are glad you're here.
So I'm very,
Yes, very
happy
glad.
to be here, and I'm going to keep the mask on, though. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to start talking about Vanderveer Drive, where I live in the hills. And I moved in back in 1997, and first we just had our road, and then recently, not recently, about, 10, 15 years ago, you guys put in the speed humps, and they were in pretty horrible shape. So I contacted Public Works and Engineering, and they said, they took down the information, and then they said, we'll come out and we'll fill in the potholes of the speed bumps, if you think about that. So they did that. They're still in horrible shape. I was asking for like brand new speed humps. If you're gonna fill in potholes, like you can't fill in one and then leave another. They're so bad you can't put a bicycle over them. So I'm bringing it to your attention to please do something about the speed humps on Vanderveer. In fact, Vanderveer has not been paved since I moved in. So, and I'm an original owner, so I don't know. So, but speed humps definitely would be great because we do have a lot of kids that are biking, okay? So I'm going to talk about 2 things. So going on what Jane Conklin had said.
Can I interrupt you 1 minute? Tom, do you know if her street is on the list to be paved offhand?
The paving, I don't think it actually needs to be paved.
Oh, okay, it's just
those
the speed
humps
bump,
are really
speed humps.
bad.
So it's not on this year's paving list.
Okay,
We prefer to replace all the speed humps when the road is paved, because otherwise, if you go and put new speed humps in now, you go out and pave the road 2 years from now, you're replacing all the speed humps again. But I can get together with Public Works and we can try to figure out what the best course is to get it corrected.
okay, appreciate that. So we will look into
That's
it,
fine, thank you.
definitely.
About diversity, inclusion, so as Ms. Asay had said, she really loves your mayor series due to the diversity and culture of our town. So let's just use that with the diversity and inclusion, since the word diversity is in it, okay? And you can highlight all the different areas of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. I think that would be really cool if it could be a mayor series. If not, if you don't want to do it and you want them to do it, I'm going to go on record and say the BTDC would love to be the one that would handle the diversity and inclusion format for you, okay? Also, finally, and this is about the Somerset County LGBTQ, they have a picnic happening this Thursday at Duke Island Park. It's a county-wide event. It's in Duke Island Park at Apple Grove Pavilion, Lot C. On hand, what they're doing is to reach out to the LGBTQ plus community and make them comfortable and know what's going on in the county government, including the sheriff's office. And that actually was a lot of discussion, because many LGBTQ plus communities don't even want to see the police. They're afraid of the police. They're afraid of being treated poorly, everything. So Sheriff Darren Russo is bringing his group out, going to talk with them, and there's other offices present so that they can find out what services are available to them. And that's it. So thank you so much. Good to see you. Be
Thank
well.
you, good to see you. Anyone else? Okay. Going to close public comment. Township Committee Boards, Liaison Reports, and Staff Comments. Pat, Monaco?
Thank you, Mayor. So I just wanted to welcome some new employees. We have Richard Vandensteinen with the Fire Prevention. We have Jacqueline Handwerger with the Library, and Umamia Salim with the Health Department. And we also have a promotion of Caitlin Dimitrik for the Assistant Township Engineer in Tom's Engineering Department as well. So congratulations to all of them. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Rhonda?
Nothing for me, thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Bellardo?
Nothing this evening, Mayor, thank you.
Joan?
Thank you. Just some highlighting of the Bernard Township Health Department. There is an adult J&J single-dose clinic on August 11th. If you check the Board of Health website, you can sign up for that. If you rather call by phone, it's 908-204-2522. The Health Department also has put together a back-to-school COVID-19 vaccine clinic, and that's for kids ages 12 and up. The first dose will be given on August 23rd from 3 to 6. The second dose on September 13th from 3 to 6. It's the Pfizer vaccine. It will take place at St. James Church, and you can sign up your child at www.signupgenius.com/go/BTHD school. Thank you.
Andrew?
Thank you, Mayor. The Basking Ridge Fire Company's Field Day event will be held this Saturday, August 14th at 11 a.m. The event will be held at the Firehouse located at 30 Washington Avenue. It will be fun for both kids and adults, and you'll be able to participate in touring the firehouse, riding the fire engine, playing games, etc. My family and I will be there this coming Saturday, and we hope to see you there. Turning to the library, the summer reading program is coming to a close. Happy to report that over 500 people participated in this great event. I hope you all look up, and encourage you to participate in the library's programs. They're really great. It's a jewel of our town, and I encourage you to take advantage of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Jim?
Just wanted to say thank you to our police department for doing National Night Out, specifically Lieutenant Eric Galetta for coordinating the event, and Corporal Ray Gazinski for coordinating the state police helicopter that comes in. I know that's always a big hit with the kids, so I want to thank them for doing that. And I also want to thank our Diversity and Inclusion Committee for putting together the report that we have and the recommendations, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But thank you for your service. I appreciate it. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Dear Commission, at our last meeting, the TC approved the annual report, and right now they're busy preparing for the upcoming season. Farmstead, they are having an art show this month. Please go to the farmsteadartcenter.org for gallery hours. Liberty Corner Fire Company. In the beginning of August, the Liberty Corner Fire Company delivered hot food to over 300 veterans with Community Hope housed at the Lyons VA Medical Center here in town. The food was paid for by the generous donations of our Bernards residents during their recent food truck fundraiser. They raised enough money to cover 2 meals for all the veterans, as well as meals to the on-duty crew at the Lyons Fire Department. Liberty Corner Fire Company would like to thank you, our generous residents, and community for making this happen. They would also like to give a special thanks to our local Basking Ridge food trucks, Casa Pierogies and Kielbasa, and Summer Days Catering, who donated their time to cook for our veterans. Thank you to them. Liberty Corner Fire Company would also like to recognize and thank, I'm going to try to say this right, Camille Gudrinwala for his generous donation of a Traeger pellet smoker. Members of the company were able to enjoy it for the first time during the annual picnic, which was this last Saturday. After a visit to the local day camp Sunshine at Fellowship Deaconry to talk about fire safety, the campers sent Liberty Corner Fire Company letters of appreciation. The members go through every one of the letters, and they would like to say that they love those little gestures from our young residents. To piggyback off Jim, I want to acknowledge National Night Out that was held last week. It was a huge success. Our Bernards Police Department went above and beyond to make this event fun and educational for our community. Face painting, musician, demonstrations, food trucks, and so much more. The highlight of the evening was the New Jersey State Police helicopter landing. It was so exciting for all, and especially for me. Many thanks to the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office, New Jersey State Police, Morris County Park Police, Warren Township Police, the Basking Ridge Liberty Corner, and Lyons Fire Department. A heartfelt thank you to Lieutenant Eric Galletta for coordinating this year's event, and to Corporal Ray Jasinski for getting us the State Police helicopter. I just want to really thank them. It was magnificent, and I can't thank our police department enough for all that they do for our community. Our deepest condolences go out to the Gilley family. Retired Sergeant Steve Gilley of Bernards Township Police Department and his wife Jane have passed away. All our thoughts and prayers are with their family. The Utility Task Force. Their August meeting has been canceled, and their September meeting, they will be having Verizon come and give a presentation. So if anyone's interested, please look that up. It'll be in September. Announcements. Last night was Meet the Mayor series, as you heard. The Basking Ridge Indian community, otherwise known as BRIC, was our guest speaker. President Gotham Pupla and other members spoke about the arts, festivals, traditions, and service to the community. We also had 2 Ridge High School graduates who are members of BRIC perform a traditional dance. It was a beautiful performance. We all enjoyed traditional refreshments provided by BRIC, which were delicious. It was a lovely evening filled with a robust conversation. We all learned a lot, and I want to thank BRIC for participating in the series and making us a very special part of their community. I want to also thank my colleague Andrew for attending last night and for being part of the program. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Mayor.
Plays in the Park are back. Annie will be at Pleasant Valley Park Amphitheater on August 19th, 20th, 21st, 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th. Show starts at 8. Please bring your lawn chairs and a flashlight. I also want to acknowledge Bernards Township will be having the 20th anniversary of 9/11 on September 11th at 10 a.m. So Saturday, September 11th, 10 a.m., Harry Dunham Memorial. So I hope you will all join us. It's the 20th anniversary. Really want to make it special. So I hope the community will come out and support the anniversary. We don't always know what's going on in town, and we're not always able to acknowledge everyone's achievements. So we really rely on you as residents to let us know what's going on. And sometimes I'll come across something and I'll think, it's noteworthy. But we have an opportunity to recognize people through a resolution or just an announcement up here. So I would encourage all of you to email us and let us know if it's a Ridge High School student, a sports team, or anything going on in town, or you want to wish your grandma a happy 100th birthday because she lives here in town at Ridge Oak, just email us and let us know. Jennifer Essay was so kind to email us and ask us to recognize some boys track members, and which we're going to do next week at our next meeting. So I thank you for that, and I encourage everyone to please let us know what's going on. We don't always know what's going on, and it's really nice that my colleagues and I can have an opportunity to recognize the achievements of our residents by resolution or just mentioning them. So I encourage you all. Thank you. Rhonda, fire and prevention, fire and rescue appointments.
None this evening.
Ordinance 2475, Rhonda.
This is accepting various easements on property presently known as 180-181 Mountain View Boulevard, Block 11301, Lot 1, to be known after subdivision as Block 11301, Lots 1.01 and 1.02, from May Basking Ridge LLC to the Township of Bernards, relating to site plan and subdivision approvals granted to Mountain View Corporate Center LLC, allowing construction of an inclusionary residential affordable housing development. And this is a public hearing.
I open for public hearing and welcome comments. Seeing none, I'll close.
Mayor, I move that ordinance 2475 be adopted and advertised as required by law.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Any discussion? Roll call, Rhonda.
Mr. Baldessari?
Yes.
Ms. Bannon?
Yes.
Mr. McNally?
Yes.
Mayor Fields?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Consent agenda. The items listed within the consent agenda portion of the meeting have been referred to the Township Committee for reading and study. A copy placed on the website and are considered routine. They will be enacted by one motion of the Township Committee with no separate discussion. If separate discussion is required, the items may be removed from the agenda by Township Committee action and placed on a regular agenda under new business. Would anyone like anything removed? Seeing none, can I have a motion?
Move the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call, Rhonda?
Mr. Baldessari?
Yes.
Ms. Bannon?
Yes.
Mr. McNally?
Yes.
Mayor Fields?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Can I have a motion to approve minutes from July 27th, 2021 on open session minutes?
I'll move to approve the July 27th, 2021 open session minutes.
Second?
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next is the discussion of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee recommendations to the Township Committee. The Diversity and Inclusion Committee has submitted recommendations to the Township Committee. My colleagues and I have reviewed them. One thing I do want to clarify is, so in the recommendation, it says about posting stories. And I know, Joan, you had mentioned at the last meeting about the videos, posting videos. We do not have the capability to post videos. So we can post the stories, but we can't post them with videos. Our platform doesn't allow that. So just want to clarify when we're discussing about the stories.
Okay, so, but you could post
We can
a
post the
link.
stories, but we just can't do a video. You could do a picture, you could do a written story. We just can't post any videos. So I just wanted everybody to know that we don't have the capabilities for the videos, and I know you had mentioned it. It didn't say videos in the, I don't think in the proposal, but I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so I'm going to go to each of my colleagues. Joan, which recommendations would you like us to see us go forward with?
Well, Mr. Coelho, who's the chair, is here. Could maybe, if you just give us a brief overview of those recommendations, be helpful for
Well,
everyone?
we didn't have that. It was just up for us to have discussion, for us to have a discussion.
Sure, but, I mean, this is what we would normally do.
No? Okay.
John Coelho, 22 Benedict, Chair of the Diversity Inclusion Advisory Committee. Thank you for the time. I'll just take a few moments. Thank Joan Bannon, our committee representative. I'd just like to recognize the committee that's here today with me and those who could not be as well, who put 6 months of work into forming these recommendations that will really give us perhaps steers to the next level of implementation, which is why your guidance back to us is so important. There are 3 pillars of the recommendations, and I'll get to them in a minute, but I think the most important thing was that they were done in a tone of establishing mutual respect, understanding, and listening. And I think we've exemplified those behaviors, and I always think if you model those behaviors, that's what you will see in the community, and we've seen that in the public, and I'd like to thank the public as well who have joined our meetings repeatedly. We can have a respectful and important exchange, and we can disagree on some points, but we can do it in a healthy and respectful manner. The 3 recommendations really cite some definitions on diversity and inclusion that we really feel are suitable, not to institutions or bodies, but to our town, because we feel this is a really special place, and they were tailored to that. The second was that we took the database that existed in the town and enhanced it, and made it even better. You know, we added groups like the Italian group, Mayor, that you have identified, and, you know, others that we think are really important. And I think it would be great, and other committee members have found ways that we could really unlock the synergy and connect them to really provide more service collaboratively. So that is something I think we'd like to put on the site. The stories, I understand, and I appreciate that the platform can't be done, but if we could write them and put them there quarterly, that would be really acceptable for us. Finally, you know, there's a brief survey we'd asked just to get a pulse and sense of how things are in the community from a diversity standpoint, and also linked to outcomes. And the outcomes are 3, like how do we increase the survey response from our community members, you know, ensure that our communities see the common vision of this being enhancing the quality of life to make this an even greater town that it is. And with that, thank you very much.
Thank you. Joan?
Thank you. I'd also like to thank the members of the committee for their work. We have a very diverse group, lots of different backgrounds and lots of different opinions. And I echo Mr. Coelho and say that we engage in discussion and we do it respectfully. So I know the amount of work that went into all of these suggestions, and so I support them all. I think the first part is just to kind of give the community more information about what the Diversity and Inclusion Committee does, and who we are and how they might participate. The One Community database, people coming to the town or moving in can check out that website and find communities that they wish to join or different groups. The survey is a very short survey. We've done surveys in other task forces and the like, so it's a very quick survey. It is a way to gather information. It takes little or no taxing on township resources, so I would agree to all of the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrew?
Thank you, Mayor. Regarding the recommendations, well, first I want to thank Chairman Coelho and the members of the D&I committee who have been meeting regularly for all of their hard work. I applaud their efforts in bringing forward these recommendations to the Township Committee. Regarding the recommendations themselves, I think the stories element of the first proposal is a great idea, and it will provide an opportunity for our residents to share their unique experiences with one another. Understanding the backgrounds and journeys of our fellow residents, I believe, will help bring our community even closer. In the same way, I'm supportive of the One Community database, which would inform residents of the various and diverse organizations in town. Now more than ever, these community organizations are important and provide opportunities for our residents to engage and learn from one another and have fun. We saw that on display just last night at the Mayor's Series event featuring the brick community. I believe the database proposed by the D&I committee will help inform our residents of the various organizations in town, their missions and upcoming events. As stated, people are yearning to re-engage with their fellow residents after a year and a half of being unable to do so, and these organizations provide critical outlets for people to learn, socialize, and have fun. In sum, I fully endorse the recommendations of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee regarding the publication of the stories and the One Community database.
Jim?
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that. I think I just have, at this point, I do not support a survey going out, and I just wanna know, one of my questions that I have is, what's the objective for that survey, and what is the role of the local government? What is our role and responsibility with that? Because I don't see any of that that has anything to do with the survey and the questions that are being asked. So at this point, I would say, no, I'm not in favor of a survey. That could be something for discussion, as time goes by. Maybe I could get a little more information on that, but I don't agree with that. I'm all for the stories. I think that's a great way to get information on people and their background and their culture and positive stories about themselves and moving into town and giving us the background. And the One Community database, I believe we already have something like that, but to add on to something like that with additional organizations, that's just a win. It's not, there's nothing wrong with that. So, I think we can definitely add on there. So I'm all for the stories. I believe that the landing page, clearly spells out what the role of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, what their role and responsibilities are at this point. So I'm good with the stories, the landing page, supporting awareness in the events, and the landing page. That's where I'm at.
Thank you. I too would like to thank so much for your time and energy and volunteering and stepping up to serve on a committee and help us. Diversity and Inclusion Committee would like to really thank you, and John also, Mr. Quayle. Thank you, Chairman. I too believe in the stories. I think it would be great to post it on the landing page and to be able to spotlight somebody or a few people. And like I said, we can't do the video, unfortunately. It would have been great if we could have, but I think if you could submit the story and picture would be nice. We could do pictures. I think that's a really great idea, so people learn more about who's in the community. I think that's a really good idea, so I'm for that. And the uploading the community database, we do have one right now, so it's great if we could put another one on that page. And also, I've talked to Rhonda about it, integrating. I know that you've spent a lot of time and a lot of energy creating that database, and I've been told that it's accurate and everything is perfect. So I've asked Rhonda to integrate it with what's already there on the page. So I support those two recommendations.
Jim, if you have questions about the survey, we have members of the committee here
Well,
who can answer.
listen, if anybody wants to get up and answer that question for me, I would be more than happy to, allow it. Please.
Good evening. Hi, Rhonda. Anna Duarte McCarthy, 38 Kinnan Way. And good evening. Thank you for your time. So I'm also a member of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and I wanted to just read for you the introductory paragraph of the survey. Welcome to the Bernards Township Diversity and Inclusion Committee's Community Sentiment Survey. The Diversity and Inclusion Committee, established in 2020, is dedicated to fostering an atmosphere of understanding and acceptance of each individual to further strengthen Bernards Township as a welcoming, exceptional place to live, work, and grow. As a valued member of our community, your participation will help us to better understand where opportunities are to enhance diversity and inclusion within Bernards Township. I won't read the rest because I think you have that in your attachments. The context of the survey, which actually Mr. Eldridge, who's here, has shared, you don't usually get a huge participation in the survey, but it creates a nice baseline for you, which then you can calibrate. And one of the suggestions that had been made, and Mayor Fields, you actually echoed it, is that we can then have forums. We can have outreach to the community and use the data within the survey as a context. So we can calibrate it. Maybe we hear people like or loathe the community, but we can say, hey, here's what we heard from a number of residents. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are things that we can work on? And actually, the most important questions within the survey are really at the end, which are 3 core questions, which speak to what are the things and the areas in the community that you feel we are doing well to demonstrate value and respect to our residents? Are there areas we could improve that demonstrate that the community values and respects diversity and the characteristics of our resident? Is there anything else you'd like to comment? And would you be interested in providing additional feedback or participating in a forum or town hall? So for us, it's a way to start to garner interest. And also, we've all been through the last 10, 15 months. It's just been, very fluid. It's hard for us to know when we can convene, when we can't. We talked about having forums, we talked about having meetings, and then suddenly you can't even get outside of your home or to meet in a place and convene. So we thought a survey was a great way to start to extend ourselves into the community and then use that as another pillar to then have further conversations, hopefully in person, with residents in our community. It's not something which we will be publishing. It's really a baseline for us to get some context. And I'll invite others in the committee if they want to add, so we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Jane Conklin again. I did work on the survey with several other people within the committee. I just want to echo that sentiment. It's really to get an idea of all of the areas that we are doing well, all of the areas that we might want to look into. It's not. My understanding is it's not of great cost to the township. I know other committees, like the utilities, have sent out surveys as well, and they've gotten information that way too. So I see it similar to those types of things. We've certainly done other surveys in town. I don't see this as anything harmful or anything that would hurt. I just think it would be something that would enhance our knowledge, and I don't really see any reason why we wouldn't do something like this.
Okay, so right now the consensus is that we're going to do the stories and the one community database to the landing page.
So just so I'm clear, are there any, just before we, Jim, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I want to know, I don't know if you're going to be able to answer this for me, but I get what you want to look at, but these, yeah, I'd like to discuss these a little bit more with you, and it's not gonna happen. I don't understand what do you see coming out of this? In terms of, I'm not gonna be able to articulate this correctly.
So I'm just, what we had hoped to do is to get more information so that we can make reasonable and needed from the residents themselves what they think we could do to be even more diverse and inclusive than we are. So, there's a committee of, there's.
My point is, please, what's preventing them, our residents, from doing that now?
Well, I
Or the
guess,
committee.
I guess what,
Or the
I guess
committee.
what prevents residents from telling us about, what they think about the utilities in town, right? Sometimes people are not so quick to come, but if it's an issue that the town feels is important and valued, we've done surveys. So we've done Survey 2020. We did a communication survey, and we did a utility survey, because the township felt that those were valuable areas of concern for the town. Here, we've decided in creating a diversity.
But it's apples and oranges, all right? Utilities affect or apply to every single person in the township that has power, or has cable, or has something like that. This is a more subjective thing where it's there's only so many people that are, I would imagine, that are going to respond to this, as evidenced by the previous surveys that we've sent out on other topics. So my point is, where does this fit in terms of what we're doing here, in terms of, local government? What is our responsibility? What are we doing with this? When we get the survey and when we get.
Well, you wouldn't be doing, wouldn't be doing anything. It's an information gathering tool for this committee, just like the survey that the Utilities Committee sent out, that Vision 2020 sent out, that the Communication Task Force sent out, so that they could gather information and make recommendations to us.
Well, I want to clarify something. The Utilities Committee's survey was because Altice had split the nodes in certain areas in town, so they needed to find out, did it work? So that's why the Utilities Task Force did a survey. They wanted to know if it increased the cable capabilities. So there was a purpose for it.
Well, I think there's a purpose for this as well. I mean, the Diversity and Inclusion Committee is charged with making recommendations to the Township Committee. There's 12 people. They're very smart, intelligent people who make good recommendations. But again, we want to be inclusive. We want to reach out to the community and gather more information. Just like we cared about communications, just like we cared about Vision 2020. It's a less than 3-minute survey. People can respond to it or not. It's just one tool to gather information. We can use other tools to gather information too. I guess my difficulty is why not allow the Diversity and Inclusion Committee to do a survey when we've let other committees in town do them as well? This is, there's nothing different about this than all those other committees' tasks. So that's my question. If you want to add to the answer to that, that's fine.
No, I hear you. Doesn't mean
Yeah,
I agree with you.
No,
We're not gonna always agree.
I don't see any of this, to be honest with you, as the role or responsibility of local government. I don't, and if it's the committee, I understand it's a township committee that we set up, so they're going to make obvious recommendations to us, and we're going to do some of those, and we're not going to do some of those, and I don't feel that this is in the area of the role and responsibility of local government to get into. There's a lot of very personal and subjective information that's on this questionnaire. It's not just a couple of questions, because there's also the last one page that I guess is what is it? You can or you can't fill it out, but
Well, it's all optional. No one has to fill it out if they decide they don't want to participate.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah,
I think we're still at the same page. Fine with that? Okay, I believe the consensus is that we're going to do the stories. You're going to submit the stories, and that we're going to upload the one community database to the landing page. So those are the recommendations we're going to put forward to the, you're here now, Chairman, but I will send you an email and let you know. I'll memorialize it with an email and let you know that those are the two recommendations that we're taking. And I want to thank you all, and we look forward to hearing, receiving your final report at the end of the year.
May I make a comment, please?
please.
There's a second public comment.
Okay. I'm going to open it back up for public comment.
Nancy Frank Cook, 44 Bullion Road.
44 Bullion Road.
Thank you. Thank you all for considering all the hard work and listening to us. I appreciate it. I am sad that the survey got scrapped, because I do feel that it gives us a baseline to hear from residents and to hear how they feel about this, because we don't really know. I'd like you to reconsider that, but at the very least, Mayor, you and I have discussed about you coming and doing a Meet the Mayor series, focusing and showcasing diversity and inclusion. How about if you come, give us a date, do that. And if you feel that there's a lot of turnout and a lot of questions, that maybe you will all revisit the survey at that time after that forum.
We had the discussion, I've had it with many of your members. This is my thing, you're your own committee, so you should spotlight yourself. That's what I'm saying. You know, Meet the Mayor it's called Meet the Mayor, right? So it's about the mayor, but I don't want it to be about me, I want it to be about you. So that's why I said, do your own forum, I will help you in any way that I can, and it'll be all yours.
I understand
So
that.
it doesn't, and you have that capability, and you're able to do that, so.
And I think that, I get it, we can do it, but to have you there shows that we have the support
Oh,
of
we'll all
the
be
township
there, we'll all
committee.
be there. If you want to do an international day, or you want to do something before the end of the year, we'll also support your endeavor in doing that. And
But
help
why
you promote
not?
it.
I mean, why not?
Why not what?
Why not do Meet the Mayor series for the Meet the Mayor series for and introducing the
Well, I
diversity
do have the
inclusion?
programs planned all year, but if you want me to do something separate, but I'm just saying, why wouldn't you want to take that and own it as your own, as the diversity committee?
Because
I don't understand why you don't want to
feel that that shows that we have township committee support all around and the mayor support, which I think means a lot to the residents of the community.
You know what, it has nothing to do with the mayor's series, it's just that we have you there as an independent body to do these things, you know, subject to approval, of course. But if you want, we can say Township Committee invites you to the diversity and inclusion. I just think it's important that you're spotlighted and that people know it's all about you, and that's what the event is about, and it highlights the committee, because it's run by the committee.
I understand, but it's under the guise of the township committee, and that would be a way, if we can't do a survey, at least you could hear firsthand. They would be speaking to you to hear.
I'll go.
All right, we're gonna start a
But if
new
we say the
series, Meet
township-
the Deputy Mayor series.
Yeah, but no, but what would be wrong if you said the Township Committee invites you to that's saying all of us approve of it, all of us are working on it. It says the Township Committee invites you to the Diversity Inclusion Forum or event. You're not getting, mine just says mayor, you're getting everybody. It says Township Committee, mayor and the Township
But
Committee.
I think featured by the mayor, Meet the Mayor series says a lot, so that's my
Okay.
comments, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Anna McCarthy, 38 Kinnan Way. I wanted to just go back to the survey and provide a little more context. The Diversity and Inclusion Committee was created as a way to create a great place to live and to thrive and be very proud to be a citizen of. It is a very common practice globally in DEI, and I worked in the space for 20 plus years to conduct baseline surveys. It's a very good way to uncover data, to not be surprised, and to better understand the climate that you are working within, that you are hopefully in turn trying to show progress against. It's very hard to define progress if you have no baseline. So at this point, all that we're going to have are, when we have forums, are anecdotes and subjective, as we said before, data, and really hard in 2 or 3 years to be able to say, we've made some progress in this space. I think that it was another opportunity for us to consider the survey if there were questions in it that were of concern or that needed clarification, to just put it or table it so we could go back and develop and refine it and have something that we could all feel really comfortable and proud of. So I would recommend that you consider doing that without just saying, putting it aside and tabling it and saying that it's not something we're going to consider. My worry is that then it becomes, and I said this a year ago, a grassroots phenomena where other surveys will pop up. They already do on Instagram. The high school students create their own pop surveys, pulse surveys, and we don't want that to become our data. We should own our data. We should feel really proud of asking our residents, even if it's just once a year, how they feel about belonging as citizens of this community. So I state that, and I just would really ask you to reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jane Conklin. Just in reference to the survey, what I'm hearing is that we wanted to get information about from the utilities, that we wanted to get information about how things were working for them on the utilities. and that we wanted to get information from the communications about how things were working for the residents on that level. I don't see the discrepancy in if we're asking, well, how are things working for you in the town for diversity and inclusion? I know you said it's subjective, but that is what our experiences are. So a survey would give us an idea of what, how is it working for the township, members of the township, just as any of these other surveys do. I don't see that as different, and I don't see that as unvaluable. In fact, as we talk about social emotional learning, I'm a teacher in school, so we talk about that a lot. The social and emotional component and tenor of the town and where we live and how we feel, which who knows what the results would be because we haven't done it, I think is just as valuable as how are the utilities working and how is the communication working for you and how are the roads and what are you interested in building. I don't see one as more valuable than the other.
Thank you.
Cody Smith,
I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, real quick. Just, Ms. Conklin, just to kind of answer your question, I don't see.
Jim, could you put your mic?
I'm sorry, I don't, to me, there's not, it's just as important. I understand that. I understand what you're saying. But my problem is the role and the responsibility of local government, and how would this play out, in the long run? Just, there's unanticipated, unintended, I don't want to say consequences, but, aberrations, things that we don't know that. I would like better clarification on. I'd like a little bit more time to think about it before I decide to sign off on something that I'm not 110%, 100% sure about. That's all. So I don't think one is more important than the other. I do think we're talking about two different things because utilities apply literally to everybody because they want power. And a lot of people, like you said, I get it, it's voluntarily. But my problem, or my concern, is our role in local government and what we are charged with for the residents and why we're elected at this level. That's my problem. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Cody Smith, 36 Royal Oak Drive. I'd just like to say procedurally, I think with all the discussion that this survey is getting and so forth, there's just the one slide in the agenda that shows the recommendations. Why don't we show that survey to the public on what's proposed in these databases and so forth? I've joined all of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee calls, and this has never been public information. So we're sitting here talking about this, and I would just say it as a matter of transparency, this ought to come out as part of the agenda, is my first point. And my second point is I can get Todd and I can walk you down the street and I can show you the 5 dead trees that are on an angle and about ready to take the power lines out in the next storm. But I can't go around town and I can't tell you the discrimination or whatever else we're trying to solve with this committee. So I think comparison to the utilities is not really a good comparison because there's all kinds of dead trees and they're all ready to take the power lines out, but I'm not sure what the issue is that we're trying to solve here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy D'Andrea, 3 Vanderveer Drive. About the survey, and I know you guys are probably tired of hearing it. I can see it on your faces. You don't want to hear the results. It might be that, okay? Unfortunately. I mean, the results might be bad, but that's okay, because even if the results are bad, we can work to make them better, and that would be your job. Now, if we have a serious problem, like hate crimes, we have a division in the Somerset County that actually handles that. Then again, might be a great survey, and maybe, it's not that bad. And people are just like, well, we get some bullying, we get this stuff that, like, especially in the high school and middle school level, which, does happen. But I think you're more concerned about the results than the actual survey. That's what I'm seeing. That's why I'm reading your faces. I've been in sales for 30 years. Body language tells all. All right? That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, although I respectfully disagree with your assessment.
Anyone else? Got to close for public comment. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So did we get,
We already finished.
Oh, it is. It's time. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, can I have a motion to adjourn? Did you? Oh, second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night. Thank you, everyone.